Hello and welcome to a special edition of Z Reviews, where today I'm going to go over my top 10 favorite movies of 2016. Now, a few disclaimers. One, I have not seen everything this year, so things like La La Land I have not seen, Lobster I haven't seen yet. I plan to see a lot of those this week, but I'm only rating the movies that the new 2016 movies that I saw in 2016. Now, this year I had a this year is was a bit of a weak year in movies. A lot of a lot of things I came out of the theater saying meh to, saying meh at the end of watching something on streaming, and even to the point of a few days ago when I watched Hail Caesar for the first time, I actually turned it off halfway through. I was just bored and didn't feel like putting up with that anymore. So this year was a very bland year, which is why I'm going with favorite instead of just saying best. Because best becomes a lot harder to quantify when you're kind of moving through a lot of meh or a lot of that's pretty good quality movie. When you're digging through a lot of those, it's very difficult to you know pick which one is better than the other, unless you just goes through the Rotten Tomatoes and see whatever indie movie got 100%. So I'll be going over my favorite movies of 2016. And before anyone asks, I have seen Rogue One. I have a, I should have posted a review of Rogue One. I'll put a link in the description. The Rogue One is not on this list. I'll come right out with that. Rogue One's not on the list. So you can question in the comments. I would actually have a comment, which would be cool. So you can yell at me on Twitter all you want at RoadRaider3, but Rogue One not on this list. Let's move on and begin, shall we? So I'm going to start with a dishonorable mention of one of my least favorite movies of 2016, and this was a late edition, and I mentioned this previously. Hail Caesar. Hail Caesar, I was so bored. It was the only one this year that I have actually turned off. Now, I didn't pay for it, which made it a lot easier to turn off. A couple others that I did pay for, I might have walked out or turned it off, but I paid for it. So, of course, I'm going to sit through the whole thing. And I'll kind of scatter in some of these disappointments, but Hail Caesar, very disappointing to me since I love the Coen brothers. So, that's all I have to say about that. We're going to start with number 10, of course. And this one, please just stick with me. Don't shut off the video right now. It's Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Extended Edition, FCA advertisement, blah blah blah. Whatever super long title they want to make. Now I'm specifying the Extended Edition because I've noticed DC has an issue with this, with both BVS and with Suicide Squad, that they yanked out a lot of plot points and character development and ended up on the cutting room floor. And when you go into the extended edition, it throws in these developments that suddenly make everything a lot more clear. I'm going to try and keep a lot of this spoiler free, even though this came out a while ago. But so, is it a great movie? No. But I'll admit a bias. I'm a huge Batman fan, and Ben Affleck was fantastic as Batman, both as Batman and as Bruce Wayne. That was a fairly large chunk of the movie too, and as a Batman fan, it was so great to see that fight between the two. It was just amazing. So I had to include it on the list. I've seen it probably more times than the other movies on this list, which is shocking. But like I said, bias. Okay, so go and rage all you want, but I have a bias. I like watching the movie. It doesn't pain me to watch it. Moving on to number 9, Green Room. Green Room was was a surprise to me. Uh, Obviously, I watch a lot of Screen Junkies, so just Green Room got raved, so I'm like, okay, let's watch it. I didn't expect it to be that good of a thriller. Anton Yelchin, rest in peace, was fantastic in it, and Patrick Stewart as the bad as the unfeeling bad guy was just great. And not I won't get into too much of these, or else this is gonna take forever. But Green Room was a fantastic thriller, keeps you on the edge of your seat, not overly long, just great. Moving on to number 8, which might surprise people how low it is, Captain America Civil War. I put it pretty close to Batman v Superman because, as a lot of people point out, they're very similar movies. Uh, their characters are set up a lot differently, obviously, but they're very similar movies. And whether you like to admit it or not, there's a Martha moment in Civil War with Tony and Cap fighting. So I don't have it as top. It's not a top 5 Marvel movie to me. Uh, it's it's one of the higher MCU movies, obviously, because Russo brothers are fantastic. But it it ends up in the lower end. I enjoyed it plenty, but it wasn't up to par with, say, Winter Soldier or some of the top end Marvel movies. Moving on, number 7, Snowden. Now I'm going to admit another personal bias. I love Oliver Stone. I love a lot of his movies, and Snowden grabbed me. It had me held on through the entire 2-hour ride, and I loved every minute of it. The intriguing spy thriller and government spying topics are very fascinating to me. So I enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Snowden was fantastic, and of course I have a review of Snowden down there in the description. I'll throw a link for that as well. But I loved Snowden. Moving on to number 6, I have Zootopia, which which may surprise people considering I'm an adult male, but Zootopia was so much fun. Yes, with Officer Hops, and just everything about that was so happy, and it had a great message to it about discrimination, and you rarely get that from a non-Pixar animated film. And I just can't say enough about it. Just go, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's up there with Pixar movies in my mind, and that's a tough thing to do as an animated film. Now, we're getting into the top 5 now. Now these are the big ones. These are the 5 movies that I can say I loved. I like Zootopia a lot, but these 5 are the elites. I separate them. And number 5, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was the most surprising movie of the year for me, because I did not have any expectations on Doctor Strange. I wasn't even going to see it until I saw what rave reviews it was getting, and I loved it. It was fun. Benedict Cumberbatch was great. Even Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, fantastic. Just all the characters, what this is going to build to. Where I'm excited to see where Doctor Strange is gonna pop up next. Obviously he's gonna pop up in Thor. I can't wait to see how he's used in Thor. Can't wait to see how he's used in the Infinity Wars. Doctor Strange made me more excited for what's coming next in Marvel, in the MCU, more than Civil War. Civil War was to me more concentrated, but I think the effects of Doctor Strange is actually bigger than the effects of Civil War. I can't wait to see what happens next with his character. Right on to number 4, The Nice Guys. Because I can't say enough about just a fun buddy cop movie, even though they're not really buddy cops. But man, that was a fun ride. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling they were electric together. And that movie, I can't say enough about how surprising that was and how out of nowhere it is. And for an original idea, this that's great. Well, 3 out of my top 5 are original ideas, and I think there's something to be said about that. It's so refreshing to see a really good original story. And number 3, the non-original story, Deadpool, because man, I can't say enough about Deadpool. It was funny. It was full of heart. It was full of action. It was full of passion more than anything else. That to me is what really separates these top 4. It's passion. Passion from everybody involved, from the director, from the star, from the writers. This was Ryan Reynolds' pet project, and man, did it work. And obviously it works because it's now nominated for a Golden Globe. Shocking to see a superhero movie lined in there, but it was considered a comedy, so it gets nominated. Number 2, Arrival. Now this one was within the past few months. Arrival was a new take on the aliens visiting Earth gimmick, and I thought it was fascinating. All about how we're going to learn to discuss, how we're going to learn to communicate with aliens when they get here, and it kind of builds further from Close Encounters. I kept saying it when I was walking out of the theater that it felt like Close Encounters, but it dives deeper with the communication than Close Encounters, and that was really fascinating to me. All the performances were great, obviously, but the premise was fantastic. And once again, original story pattern. And number 1 is the Screen Junkies' darling movie, Sing Street, because you can't watch that movie without having a smile on your face at the end or a tear in your eye. Don't act like you don't, because it's heartwarming, and makes you happy at the same time. It can make you cry and make you laugh and make you smile all at the same time. And that's something that is really rare, that a movie can do that. And the music was great, just so much fun. So Sing Street I rank as my number 1. And I'm going to close it out with a couple of dishonorable mentions. We'll go from a high to a low. X-Men Apocalypse. Now, is it my worst movie of the year? No. But this movie should have been better. And number 1, and my biggest disappointment of the year, and I think is the worst movie of the year, it's Blair Witch. I could rant about Blair Witch, but I already have. I filmed I think it was about 12 or 13 minute rant about Blair Witch when I got back from seeing it. So if we can get this video here to, I'd say, if I can reach 100 views on any of my videos, I'll post it. I'll prove at least someone's interested. Or if I could get, let's say, 2 subscribers. If I could get 2 subscribers, I believe I am one of the subscribers, so 3 total subscribers, then that'll prove that someone's actually watching this and would like to see my mad rantings on Blair Witch. So, like, subscribe, comment, uh, email me at zreviews@gmail.com if you would like to suggest another video or another movie for me to review, or lists. If you like the list movies better than my reviews, let me know. I'll do some lists too. So it's just a fun pet project, so any feedback is helpful. Have a nice day, folks.